In this video, I'll be teaching you how to play 5 crowns. Let's get into it. The object of 5 crowns is to obtain the lowest number of points after playing all 11 hands of the game. In this game, there are 5 suits: stars, hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds, and there are 6 jokers. Each suit has 11 cards, 3 through 10, the jack, queen, and king. Since there are 2 decks in this game, you may see duplicates. For example, there are 2 kings in the star suit. The card values. Each number card is worth its face value. Jacks are worth 11 points, queens are 12, kings are 13, jokers are 50, and the current wild card is 20 points. The wild card will change from hand to hand. It is always equal to the number of cards dealt in that hand. Therefore, at the beginning of the game, when you start with 3 cards in your hand, the 3s are wild. In the next round, when you have 4 cards, 4s are wild, and that continues all the way until the last round when the kings are wild. Remember that jokers are always wild. The way to get rid of cards is in the form of runs or books. A run consists of a sequence of 3 or more cards of the same suit. For example, a 5, a 6, and a 7, or a 9, 10, jack, and queen. You can also replace any number by a current wild card or a joker. A book consists of 3 or more cards of the same value regardless of suit. For example, 3 8s of any suit or 4 kings of any suit. Any card in a book can be replaced by any wild card or joker. There is no limit to the number of wild cards or jokers that can be placed in a run or a book. As we discussed earlier when talking about the wilds, each round has a different number of cards. In the first round, you will deal 3 cards to each player. In the second round, 4 cards to each player. Third round, 5 cards to each player, all the way until the last round has 13 cards. After each deal, the remaining cards are placed in the center as a draw pile, and the top card is flipped over to start the discard pile. The player to the dealer's left goes first, and play continues clockwise. Each turn starts with either drawing a card from the deck or picking up the top card from the discard pile. The turn is completed by discarding 1 card. A player can only lay down his or her books or runs when going out or in turn after a player has gone out. We'll discuss that in more detail in a second. When a player is able to go out, the remaining players each have 1 last turn. They will be able to either draw from the deck or discard pile again, and then lay down all of the books or runs that they can, discarding 1 card. The remaining cards in their hand count as points against them. You cannot play on each other's books or runs. The value of the cards on the table in front of you does not matter, only the ones that are unused in your hand. Keep in mind that the person with the lowest score wins, so you do not want points. The player on the dealer's left then shuffles and deals the cards. Like we mentioned earlier, they will deal 1 more card each round. This will continue, as we said, until the 11th hand when the kings are wild. Going out. After drawing from the deck or picking up the top card from the discard pile, if the player is able to arrange all the cards in his or her hand into books or runs with 1 card remaining, he then lays all the cards down and discards the last card to go out. The discard can be a card that could have been played with the cards that were laid down. Like we mentioned earlier, every other player gets 1 more chance to lay down anything that they can. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to purchase 5 crowns, there's a link in the description down below. If you want to check out more Brimley Games stuff, click over here and be sure to subscribe because we've got some great stuff coming up for you in the next few weeks. We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.